The real reason why these actors left MASH. The show MASH was a big hit, capturing hearts and minds with its blend of comedy and drama. But behind the scenes, not everything was smooth sailing. Some of the key actors, who seemed like they would stay forever, suddenly left the show. What made them walk away from such a successful series? Today, we'll uncover the real reasons behind their departures, and how decisions changed the course of their careers and the show itself. Get ready to dive into the untold stories of the actors who left MASH, and why they made that choice. MASH, a beloved TV show, is a comedy drama series that aired from 1970 to 1983. Set during the Korean War, it follows the lives of the staff at the 4077th Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. These doctors, nurses, and support staff work tirelessly to provide medical care to wounded soldiers. The show's unique mix of humor and serious moments captivated audiences, making it a timeless classic. The main character of MASH is Captain Benjamin Hawkeye Pierce, portrayed by Alan Alda. Hawkeye is a talented surgeon with a sharp sense of humor. Characters include Captain Trapper, John McIntyre, Major Margaret Hotlip Houlihan, and Major Frank Burns. The show also features Corporal O'Reilly, Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake, and later, Colonel Sherman T. Potter. The first season introduces the characters and their daily struggles in a war zone. The tone is a blend of comedy and serious moments, with the doctors often using humor to cope with the horrors of war. Each episode features a mix of medical emergencies, personal dramas, and lighthearted moments. In the second season, more depth is added to the characters. Hawkeye and Trapper continue to pull pranks and challenge authority. Major Houlihan and Major Burns often try to enforce military discipline, creating tension. The show balances laughter with the grim reality of war. Third season, MASH starts to tackle more serious issues. Episodes address topics like the ethics of war, the impact of violence, and the personal cost of combat. The season ends with a shocking twist. Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake is killed and his plane is shot down, showing the unpredictability of war. The fourth season, new changes. Trapper leaves, and Captain B.J. Honeycutt joins the team. Colonel Potter replaces Blake as the commanding officer. Potter is a seasoned and wise leader, who quickly gains the respect of the staff. This season focuses on how the characters adjust to these changes while continuing their work. In the fifth season, Major Charles Emerson Winchester III joins as a new surgeon. He is skilled but arrogant, creating new dynamics within the group. The show continues to blend humor with serious themes, exploring the personal and professional lives of the characters. The 6th through 8th seasons maintain this balance. The characters face challenges and grow closer. Episodes tackle into their backstories and personal struggles. The war's impact on their mental health becomes a recurring theme. The show also highlights the absurdities and contradictions of military life. The 9th and 10th seasons see the characters becoming more reflective. They start to think about life after the war. The tone of the show becomes more somber, reflecting the toll of years spent in a war. Relationships deepen, and there are moments of introspection and personal growth. The 11th and final season wraps up the series. The war is nearing its end, and the characters prepare to go home. The final episode, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, is a 2.5-hour special. It shows the end of the Korean War and the staff of the 4077th saying their goodbyes. The show won numerous awards and remains a classic. It is remembered for its unique blend of comedy and drama, and its thoughtful exploration of the human side of war. MASH achieved something remarkable. It was of its time, yet it remains relevant for all time. The absurdity of restoring human life only to send soldiers back into battle resonated with much of the American public, especially as the series debuted during the Vietnam War. This timeless quality has ensured that MASH continues to be appreciated by new generations of viewers. Despite the success of the show during its time, there are actors who actually left, and they have different reasons why. McLean Stevenson, Colonel Henry Blake. Edgar McLean Stevenson, Jr., known professionally as McLean Stevenson, was born on November 14, 1927, in Normal, Illinois. His family had a rich legacy in politics and medicine, but Stevenson charted his own course. But he had different ambitions. Stevenson attended Lake Forest Academy for his secondary education. He briefly served in the United States Navy, a stint that aligned with his family's tradition of public service. However, His passion lay elsewhere. After his service, it was during his college years that he became a member of the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity, a connection that would later play a role in his early career. Despite his degree in theater, Stevenson's path to acting was far from straightforward. He held various jobs, including selling insurance and working as a press secretary for his cousin Adlay's presidential campaign. These jobs, though unrelated to acting, helped him develop a broad skill set and a unique perspective that he would later bring to his performances. McLean Stevenson's career into show business began in radio, where he hosted shows in his smooth voice and charismatic personality quickly made him a local favorite. Yet, it was his writing skills that first garnered national attention. Stevenson's transition to acting was gradual. His cousin suggested he take acting more seriously, recognizing his potential for performance. In 1961, he enrolled in the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. This move proved pivotal, as it provided him with formal training and a solid foundation in acting. He made his theatrical debut in The Musician and began appearing in television commercials, steadily building his portfolio. McLean Stevenson's career-defining role came in 1972, when he was cast as Lieutenant Col. Henry Blake on the TV show MAS. Stevenson's portrayal of Henry Blake, the easygoing and somewhat bumbling commanding officer, resonated deeply with audiences. His character's humor and warmth brought a human touch to the harsh realities depicted in the show. MAS quickly became one of the most popular shows on television. Stevenson's performance was a standout, earning him a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor in 1974. His role as Henry Blake was beloved by fans and critics alike. His departure was driven by a combination of factors. Primarily, Stevenson felt that his character was underutilized. He believed he had more to offer. Additionally, he was frustrated with the increasing focus on the characters played by Alan Alda and Loretta Sweet. Stevenson hoped to find opportunities where he could be the leading star rather than part of an ensemble cast. Stevenson's exit from MAS was both dramatic and memorable. In the final episode of the third season, his character, Henry Blake, was discharged from the army and set to return home. The episode ended with the shocking news that Henry Blake's plane had been shot down, and he had died. This unexpected and tragic turn was one of the most emotional moments in television history, highlighting the brutal realities of war amidst the show's comedic elements. The decision to kill off Henry Blake's character was groundbreaking. It was rare for television shows at the time to address the fatal consequences of war so directly. Stevenson's departure left an impact on the series and its audience. After leaving MAS, McLean Stevenson sought to capitalize on his newfound fame. He starred in several TV shows, hoping to replicate the success he had experienced. His first venture was The McLean Stevenson Show in 1976, where he played Mac Ferguson. Despite high expectations, the show did not resonate with audiences and was canceled after one season. Undeterred, Stevenson continued to pursue leading roles. In 1979, he starred in Hello, Larry, a spin-off of the popular show Different Strokes. Stevenson played Larry Alder, a radio talk show host and single father. Unfortunately, Hello, Larry also failed to capture the same success as MAS, and was canceled after 2 seasons. Throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, Stevenson appeared in various television series and movies. He had guest roles on shows like The Love Boat and The Golden Girls, and starred in the sci-fi comedy film The Cat from Outer Space in 1978. Despite his effort, none of these projects matched the acclaim or popularity of MAS. In his later years, McLean Stevenson remained a familiar face on television. Even if his projects did not achieve the same level of success, he became a regular panelist on the game show Match Game and continued to guest star on various series. His quick wit and charm made him a favorite on talk shows and game shows alike. Stevenson's personal life saw its share of ups and downs. He was married 3 times and had 3 children. His first marriage to Polly Ann Gordon lasted from 1957 to 1960. He married Louise Herbert in 1969, but their union ended in divorce in 1971. His third and final marriage was to Ginny Fosdick in 1980, and they remained together until his death. On February 15, 1996, McLean Stevenson passed away from a heart attack at the age of 68. His death was a significant loss to the entertainment industry. Stevenson is remembered primarily for his role as Henry Blake, a character that left a mark on television history. Reflecting on his decision to leave MAS, Stevenson acknowledged that it might not have been the best career move. He later admitted, "I made the mistake of believing that people were enamored of McLean Stevenson when the person they were enamored of was Henry Blake. So if you go and do the McLean Stevenson show, nobody cares about McLean Stevenson." This realization came after years of struggling to find the same success he had enjoyed on MASH. Despite the challenges he faced post-MASH, Stevenson's contributions to television were significant. His portrayal of Henry Blake brought warmth, humor, and humanity to the show, and his departure created one of the most memorable moments in TV history. Stevenson's career serves as a reminder of the complexities and uncertainties in the entertainment industry. Wayne Rogers, Trapper, John McIntyre. Wayne Rogers was born William Wayne McMillan Rogers III on April 7, 1933, in Birmingham, Alabama. Growing up in a modest family, Rogers' early life was marked by his educational pursuits and a keen interest in various activities. He attended Ramsey High School, where his academic and extracurricular activities began to shape his future. After high school, Rogers went on to Princeton University, one of the Ivy League schools, where he graduated with a degree in history in 1954. During his time at Princeton, Rogers was a member of the Triangle Club, a theater troupe that performed musical comedies. This experience likely played a role in sparking his interest in acting, although he did not pursue it immediately. Following his graduation, Rogers enlisted in the U.S. Navy, serving as a navigator aboard the USS Denebola, a store ship. Rogers' time in the Navy was formative. It was during his military service that he began to develop a deeper interest in performance. This period also demonstrated his ability to commit to rigorous and disciplined environments, traits that would later serve him well in his acting career. After completing his service, Rogers decided to pursue acting seriously. He studied at the Neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater in New York City, where he learned under renowned acting coach Sanford Meisner. This training laid a solid foundation for his acting skills. However, the early years of his career were challenging. Rogers took on various odd jobs, including waiting tables, driving a cab, and working as a lifeguard to support himself while auditioning for roles. Rogers' early career involved small roles in television and film. He made his screen debut in the television series Search for Tomorrow in 1959 and appeared in the movie Odds Against Tomorrow the same year. Despite these early roles, his career did not take off immediately. He continued to take on small parts in various TV shows and movies throughout the early 1960s. Wayne Rogers' big break came in 1972 when he was cast as Captain Trapper John McIntyre in the television series MASH. Rogers' character, a thoracic surgeon, was the best friend and foil to the show's lead character. Captain Benjamin Hawkeye Pierce, played by Alan Alda, MASH, was both a comedy and a drama, and it quickly became a huge hit. Rogers' portrayal of Trapper John was well received by audiences and critics alike. His character was known for his charm, wit, and strong sense of ethics. The chemistry between Rogers and Alda was a key part of the show's success. The duo's interactions brought humor and depth to the series, making it a beloved television staple. Despite the show's success, Wayne Rogers decided to leave MASH after its third season in 1975. His departure was primarily due to creative differences. Rogers felt that his character was being overshadowed by Alda's Hawkeye. He believed that Trapper John was becoming less of a central figure and more of a sidekick, which was not the direction he wanted for his role. Rogers also had issues with the lack of character development for Trapper John. He wanted more substantial storylines and equal footing with Alda's character. But the producers didn't agree to these changes. This disagreement ultimately led to his decision to leave the show. His departure was significant, and fans of the show were disappointed to see him go. After leaving MASH, Wayne Rogers continued to work in television and film. He appeared in various TV shows, including House Calls, where he played Dr. Charlie Michaels. This role earned him a Golden Globe nomination and demonstrated his versatility as an actor. Rogers also had roles in City of Angels and guest appearances in several other TV series and movies. This role showcased Rogers' ability to take on more serious and dramatic parts, further solidifying his reputation as a talented actor. In addition to his acting career, Wayne Rogers was a successful businessman and investor. His interest in finance began during his time on MASH, and he eventually managed his own investment portfolio. Rogers became known for his financial acumen and was given the nickname The Wizard for his expertise. He regularly appeared as a financial analyst on the Fox News Channel's program Cashin' In, where he shared his insights on investments and the stock market. Rogers' success in the financial world was a sign of his intelligence and ability to excel in multiple fields. Wayne Rogers' personal life was as varied as his professional career. He was married twice. His first marriage was to actress Mitzi McWhorter in 1960. The couple had 2 children, a son named William Rogers IV and a daughter named Laura Rogers. Although they formally divorced in 1983, they had been living separately for several years prior. In 1988, Rogers married Amy Hirsch. The marriage lasted until his death. Rogers was also rumored to have had a son named Luigi Brasi with actress Melinda Nod. Wayne Rogers passed away on December 1, 2015, due to complications from pneumonia. He was 82 years old. His death marked the end of a remarkable career that spanned over 5 decades. Rogers left behind a legacy of memorable performances and was remembered as a talented actor and a savvy businessman. Larry Linville, Major Frank Burns. Larry Linville, an actor best known for his role as Major Frank Burns in the iconic TV series MASH, was born on September 29, 1939 in Ojai, California. Raised in Sacramento, California, Linville attended El Camino High School. His early years hinted at a promising future in performance, but it wasn't until later that his passion for acting truly flourished. After high school, he enrolled at the University of Colorado, initially studying aeronautical engineering. However, Linville's interests soon shifted towards the performing arts, leading him to apply to the prestigious Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, or RADA, in London. To his delight, he was accepted, becoming only 3 Americans to receive a scholarship. At RADA, Linville honed his acting skills, immersing himself in a rigorous curriculum that emphasized classical training. This foundation would be crucial in shaping his future career. After completing his studies, Linville returned to the United States, where he began his professional journey on the stage. Linville's early career was marked by various stage productions and guest roles on television shows. He performed with the Barter Theater in Abingdon, Virginia, under the guidance of the theater's founder, Robert Hufford Porterfield. This experience allowed Linville to develop his craft further and gain valuable stage experience. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Linville started to make a name for himself in television. He appeared in several popular shows of the era, including Bonanza, The FBI, and Room 222. These roles helped establish Linville as a versatile actor, capable of taking on a variety of characters. His big break, however, came in 1972 when he was cast as Major Frank Burns in the television series MASH. On MASH, Larry Linville's portrayal of Major Frank Burns became a significant part of the show's success. Frank Burns was a bumbling, arrogant, and somewhat paranoid surgeon who served as a foil to the main characters, Hawkeye Pierce and Trapper, John McIntyre, and later, J. Honeycutt. Linville's performance added a distinct mix of humor and tension to the show, making Frank Burns a memorable character. Frank Burns was often the target of practical jokes and verbal barbs from his colleagues. Linville's ability to portray Frank's incompetence and insecurities made him a standout character on the show. Despite his character's flaws, Linville brought a certain depth to Frank Burns, showcasing his vulnerabilities and adding layers to his persona. Despite the success of MASH and his popularity on the show, Larry Linville decided to leave after the 5th season in 1977. His departure was motivated by several factors. One significant reason was Linville's feeling that his character had become too one-dimensional. Frank Burns was mainly used for comic relief and was often portrayed in a negative light. Linville wanted to explore other opportunities and roles that would allow him to showcase his range as an actor. Leaving a hit show like MASH was a bold move, but Linville believed it was necessary for his growth as an actor. He expressed a desire to take on more diverse and challenging roles rather than being typecast as the bumbling surgeon. This decision marked a turning point in his career, opening the door to new possibilities. After leaving MASH, Linville continued to work in television and film. While he never achieved the same level of fame as he did with his role as Major Burns, Linville remained a respected character actor throughout his career. He appeared in shows like The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and Murder, She Wrote. These roles allowed Linville to showcase his versatility and prove that he was more than just Frank Burns. In addition to his television work, Linville also appeared in movies such as School Spirit and Earth Girls Are Easy. While these films did not reach the same level of acclaim as MASH, they provided Linville with opportunities to explore different genres and characters. Despite the challenges of being typecast, Linville continued to find work and remained dedicated to his craft. Larry Linville's personal life included having several marriages. His first marriage was to Kate Geer, with whom he had a daughter named Kelly. He later married Vanna Tribby, Melissa Gallant, Susan Hagen, and Deborah Guyton. Linville's marriages reflected his often complex and sometimes turbulent personal life. Larry Linville's legacy, particularly his role as Major Frank Burns, remains an important part of television history. His ability to bring a deeply flawed and often unlikable character to life while still maintaining a sense of humor is a major sign of his talent as an actor. Linville's performance on MASH has endured, and he is remembered as a key contributor to the show's success. Despite leaving MASH to avoid being typecast, Linville's portrayal of Frank Burns continues to be celebrated. His character added a unique dynamic to the show, and his comedic timing and ability to balance humor with pathos made Frank Burns a standout role. Linville's departure from MASH left a noticeable void in the show. Frank Burns was a character that audiences loved to hate, and his interactions with the other characters were a crucial part of the show's dynamic. After Linville left, the character of Major Charles Winchester, played by David Ogden Stiers, was introduced. While Winchester brought a different kind of tension to the show, Frank Burns' absence was felt. Linville's decision to leave MASH reflected his desire for growth and artistic integrity. He could have continued playing Frank Burns and enjoyed the security of a steady job on a hit show, but he chose to take a risk and pursue other opportunities. This choice speaks to Linville's dedication to his craft and his willingness to challenge himself as an actor. In his later years, Linville continued to work in television and film, although his health issues increasingly took a toll. Despite his declining health, he remained committed to his career and continued to take on roles until he was no longer able to work. Linville's battle with cancer was a difficult period, but he faced it with the same determination that had characterized his career. Larry Linville passed away on April 10, 2000, due to complications from pneumonia following surgery for cancer. He was 60 years old. His death was a significant loss to the entertainment industry, and his colleagues and fans mourned the passing of a talented and dedicated actor. Gary Berghoff. Corporal Walter Radar O'Reilly. Gary Rich Berghoff was born on May 24, 1943, in Bristol, Connecticut. His parents, Rodney and Ann Berghoff, provided a nurturing environment that fostered his early interests in the arts. From a young age, Gary exhibited a deep fascination with nature and wildlife. He spent his early childhood amidst the brooks and meadows of Forestville, forming a connection with the natural world. Berghoff's mother, Ann, was a local theater dancer, choreographer, scriptwriter, poet, and songwriter. She introduced him to the world of performing arts. Accompanying her to rehearsals, Gary developed a fascination with stage performers, singers, and musicians. Despite being born with a club foot and having several deformed fingers in his left hand, he was determined to pursue his passions. He studied tap dance and learned jazz drumming, overcoming his physical challenges with resilience and dedication. In his sophomore year, the Berghoff family moved to Delavan, Wisconsin. Gary graduated from Delavan Darien High School in 1962, already making rounds in Milwaukee nightclubs as a drummer with the Bud Wilbur Orchestra. His talents were evident, and his determination to succeed was unwavering. After high school, Berghoff moved to New York City to chase his dreams. He joined HB Studio, where he trained under renowned teachers like Sanford Meisner, James Tuttle, and Charles Nelson Riley. To support himself, he worked at Saks Fifth Avenue and performed in jazz clubs with his band, the We Three. Berghoff's early career was marked by his roles in various theater productions. He performed in notable plays such as Finian's Rainbow, Babes in Arms. The show was a massive success, running for over 500 performances in New York and Los Angeles, and established Berghoff as a talented actor. In 1970, Berghoff's life took a turn when director Robert Altman noticed his performance as Charlie Brown. Altman offered him a screen test for his upcoming film, MASH. Berghoff was cast as Corporal Walter Eugene Radar O'Reilly, a character that would define his career. Following the success of the film, Miscela was adapted into a television series by Larry Gelbart and 20th Century Fox. The series premiered on CBS in 1972, and Berghoff was the only actor from the original film asked to reprise his role. Radar O'Reilly, the innocent and intuitive company clerk, quickly became one of the most beloved characters on television. Berghoff's portrayal of Radar was praised for its charm and relatability, making him a fan favorite. Despite the success of Miscela and the adoration of fans, Berghoff faced personal and professional challenges. The demanding shooting schedule took a toll on his family life. He was married to Janet Gale in 1971, and their daughter Gina was born in 1975. However, the long hours on set and the pressures of fame strained his marriage. By the time he decided to leave Miscela, in 1979, his marriage had ended in divorce. Berghoff returned to his childhood home with his 4-year-old daughter, seeking solace and a fresh start. Berghoff's departure from Miscela was a significant moment in television history. He decided to leave the show after its 7th season, citing burnout and a desire to spend more time with his family. The demanding shooting schedule of the series made it difficult for him to be present in his children's lives. Additionally, Berghoff felt that he had taken his character as far as he could and wanted to explore other opportunities. His decision was driven by a need to find balance and fulfillment outside of the pressures of a highly successful television show. His decision was not taken lightly, and the producers handled his exit with care. In his final episode, Radar received a touching send-off. He chose to return home to run the family farm after the death of his uncle, providing a satisfying conclusion to his character's story. Radar's farewell was initially planned for the last episode of the 7th season, titled Goodbye, Radar. However, CBS requested Berghoff to return for a 2-part farewell series, which allowed fans to bid a proper goodbye to the beloved character. The emotional departure highlighted Berghoff's commitment to balancing his professional success with his personal well-being. After leaving Miscela, Berghoff continued to work in the entertainment industry, though he never achieved the same level of fame as he did with Radar. He appeared in various television shows, including Fantasy Island, The Love Boat, and Tales of the Unexpected. He also participated in several game shows like Match Game, Tattletales, and Hollywood Squares. Despite his continued presence on television, he struggled to find a role that resonated with audiences as deeply as Radar O'Reilly had. In 1984, Berghoff reprised his role as Radar in the Miscela spin-offs after Miscela and Walter. However, these shows did not achieve the same success as the original series, and Berghoff gradually shifted his focus to other pursuits. His love for nature and wildlife led him to host the PBS series Pets Part of the Family in 1999, where he shared his passion for animals with viewers. Gary Berghoff's talents.